Jamaica. Make we do the right thing. Make we live good today for a better tomorrow. Talk it out. Don't fight it out. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
6:30.
Lead story this evening on CVM TV. We talk politics, local and international. Of course, Tuesday saw Donald J. Trump resoundingly win the mandate from the American people to serve as the next president of the United States. And locally, 4 nomination activities for 4 by-elections set for November 22. And we have some insight for you from what happened on the nomination day trail here in Jamaica. This is Lead Story. Let's break, and then we'll start the show. Welcome to Lead Story on this Wednesday. So good to have you here, of course. Donald J. Trump was the 45th president of the United States. He will become the 47th president at the inauguration set for January 20 next year. He won a resounding victory. The final vote count not yet in, but the vote count is so far advanced that Kamala Harris has already conceded. She did so in a speech earlier on this Wednesday. And the latest count shows that Trump has 295 electoral college votes. He needed only 270, well over the threshold. So the result is uncontestable. It is beyond recall. Locally, though, we had nomination day activities in 4 places: the Ainan Town Division in the Clarendon Municipal Corporation, the Morant Bay Division in the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation, in Northwest St. Andrew in the corporate area, and of course in South Trelawney. We had representation in Northwest St. Andrew. Our very own Britannia Witter was on the road with the supporters and the festivities. And Jean joins me to tell me what she saw, what she heard as she touched the nomination day trail. Britannia, welcome to Lead Story.
Hi, George.
All right,
everyone.
So you were out in Marvel, you were at the Pembroke Hall Community Centre where the nomination day activities took place. Dwayne Smith going up for the JLP. Tell me about the experience as you saw it. What did you hear from party supporters on the ground?
Well, we arrived a little after 10, and George, already there were 3 coaster buses there. People, they were in their green shirts, jumping around, shouting, saying that we want Mr. Smith's son. They literally called him Mr. Smith's son. I was saying, Dwayne, Derek Smith's son. Yeah. So they said, yes, Dwayne Smith, he's who we want. I spoke to a lady, she had freshly done tattoos of JLP officials. Andrew Honey's on this hand,
Siagan, a tattoo of wholeness. And other officials? Yes,
Siagan this side, Shahini Robinson this side, they're saying that it is a JLP stronghold, yes, and only Dwayne Smith can win for them. Yes. They were really passionate, out in their numbers as early as they were there waiting on him, music playing. You know the normal Jamaican way, a cup in hand, just vibing to the excitement. Yes. It was a sight to see. About what time did he arrive at the nomination centre? Roughly some minutes to 12, really. Yes. That was the time that he came. No, he was at Marvelly first, and then he walked with the supporters to the community center. Yes. So he walked through different communities, you know, the truck playing the music, a whole showdown to say that I'm Dwayne Smith, I'm here in the constituency. So you know, Britannia, there has been talk that, you know, some parts of the constituency, the Labourites, not too pleased that Dwayne Smith is the man. You're saying that based on what you saw, that's not what you saw. That's exactly what I'm saying. Based on what I saw and the response from them, George, they're saying that he is the man for the job. They're saying Derek Smith's son, that's who we want. He's the younger Smith. We're ready for him to take over. It's just his rightful place. That's really, that was the call from almost everyone that I spoke to. Was there any other candidate from any other party nominated in Northwest St. Andrew today? I didn't see anyone else.
Yes.
But when we went to the center, to the Pembroke House Center, they said that 2 independent candidates were also nominated at some time earlier before.
So it means that Derek Smith won't, beg your pardon, Dwayne Smith will not be put in by acclamation as a member of Parliament. All right, so you saw that. Further afield, viewers, our team, well, we did have representation in South Trelawney as well, where Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert is going to run for the JLP. She's now officially the candidate. And Lloyd Gillings, the man she beat in the previous general election down in South Trelawney, he's now running as an independent candidate, the PNP saying that they're not fielding a candidate in South Trelawney. And we caught up with a few supporters down in South Trelawney to talk about why they are supporting Mama D.
Yeah, we feel good, and Mama D, we say we feel good, so Mama D come back, so we come to nominate with her, and Mama D I take it, cause Mama D we say, we love Mama D. Mama D.
Why you love her so much?
Mama D, me don't know what Mama D no do for South Trelawney. Mama D try everything, although when she fix this up, so other people mash it down, I say she not do anything, but Mama D, she up there, so skill center is there, where she put there, one down Alps there, so where she put there, and Mama D, she try this. She do send back a lot of kids to school. She do a lot in our community.
What about you?
Yes, Mama D, all the way, 100%. She has done so much for Southern Trelawney. Yes, the ball ground in Outer Spring, she 100% fix it. Yes, the skill centers. There's a fire station in Outer Spring going on right now. She has done so much, and we welcome her back, and we want her 100% to finish her work.
What are some of the projects that is here that you would like to see finish?
The road, the fire station, the water. Yes, she has talked about it, and she has many plans for us, and we want her. Yes.
About that.
I am feel 100% because since the short time I know Mama D, she have done a good work. And since the last election we had, she make win all 4 seats. I am so proud of Mama D. I'm glad she's back because she's done a very good work so far. And she never leave. Every meeting that we there, she did it. And we did it behind her 100%. Besides, they say same thing. Me not give my vote to no PNP. Me a straight labor, I'm going to stay till me dead. Shower labor.
And just for context, the PNP did announce from previously that they would not be contesting any parliamentary by-elections. They're keeping their powder dry where that is concerned, or those are concerned. But they are being strongly represented at the local government level, and the PNP is feeling strong candidates in the Annan Town division, in the Clarendon Municipal Corporation, and of course in the Morant Bay division in the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation. The man who won that seat for the PNP, Rohan Washi Bryan, died earlier this year. And of course, the woman who won for the JLP in Annan Town also passed away. So an election to replace 2 candidates who passed on earlier this year. After the break, we'll talk U.S. politics, and then I'll be going with my guests to get their perspective on the Trump supremacy.
Down on a shiny, brand new Hyundai vehicle with free loan payments until March 2025. Yes, get a 2024 Hyundai vehicle and get free loan payments until March 2025. 100% financing, 2 years free service, 0 processing fees, and other sweet goodies. Drive into the new year with your new ride. Goodbye, old car. Hello, Hyundai. Hyundai. 4 free payments promotion. Limited stock available. Offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
These days, challenges are everywhere and things are constantly changing, but independent living remains the same. Rising above physical challenges, we can help you do it. For years, we have been Jamaica's trusted provider for solutions to improve patient care, safety, and general quality of life. No matter your age or your physical limitation, we are the caring store, waiting to serve you. It's time to experience independent living. Visit us today.
Welcome back to Lead Story on this Wednesday here on CVM TV. So, Donald J. Trump will return to the White House in January next year to be inaugurated as the 47th President of the United States. On Tuesday, Trump completed a decisive victory over Kamala Harris, the Democratic candidate, and we are left in no doubt about how the American people feel about their future for the next 4 years. They believe that they are safe, that they will be better off under a Trump presidency. Harris falling short. The numbers as they continue to come through are showing that she even underperformed relative to Joe Biden's numbers in the 2020 election when he got the better of Trump in the elections. I'm speaking to two gentlemen. Siku Clark, he's a U.S. immigration attorney. Mark Ricketts, he's an economist. And a lady joins the discussion, Dr. Karen Dunkley, a former Global Diaspora Council representative in Northeast USA. Good evening, lady and gentlemen.
Good evening to your listeners, your viewers, and good evening to my panelists. Thank you for having me, George.
Good, excellent. Siku, I'm not hearing you. Are you there?
Yes, good evening. Thank you so much for having me again, George.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure being on the show with you.
Excellent.
Good evening, panelists.
All right, so let's give the lady the first crack. Dr. Dunkley, it's the result that many Jamaicans did not want, did not expect, and at this hour are still struggling to reconcile with. What went wrong for Kamala on election day?
I think that it's quite a complex question. This election, surprisingly for many, they are describing it as a red shock. Others are hearkening to the era of the Red Scare during communism in the United States. But for myself, as a registered independent who happens to work in the state of Utah, at least 2 months out of 2 weeks out of every month, we kept indicating to the Democratic Party, to the Democratic Coalition. I was personally engaged one-on-one in several meetings that there is a persistent disenchantment that was taking place around the economy. We saw that play up quite heavily. We saw inflation, that individuals, even those who insist that they're certainly not anti-immigrant, that they had very visceral reactions to the unchecked migration described as the border crisis. We see some of the other issues in terms of what the Democrats described as reproductive rights and healthcare choices for women, and really saying to them that, look, that maybe it is that the Democratic Party had perhaps moved too far to the left, that people were not as excited or as ambitious about these issues as they think. And Harris had a unique perspective. She got into the race late. Donald Trump, he's been running for president since he lost in 2020 to Joe Biden.
Yes.
VP Harris had a short time to say to America who she was, and also to walk a tightrope where she could not distance herself. So she really inherited this negative disapproval from Biden around the inflation and immigration.
Yeah. I just have less than 2 minutes to the break. I don't want to start Siku Clark on an answer or Mark Ricketts on an answer and then disrupt them. So let's take the break right now. When we come back, we can see if we can squeeze some more time to give both gentlemen space to react to Kamala Harris's defeat in the U.S. presidential election, Donald Trump's victory. It's now once again Trump's America. Love it or like it.
This season, you can make a child in care's dream come true. Create lasting memories.
We invite you to open your hearts and homes this holiday season to a child in care. Take a child home this holiday.
Submit your applications early ahead of the November 29th deadline.
Together, we can make this holiday season brighter for children in care. Join us in making dreams come true.
Take a child home for the holiday program. Apply Apply now at www.childprotection.gov.jm or visit any of our parish offices.
Pay nothing down on a shiny, brand new Hyundai vehicle with free loan payments until March 2025. Yes, get a 2024 Hyundai vehicle and get free loan payments until March 2025. 100% financing, 2 years free service, 0 processing fees, and other sweet goodies. Drive into the new year with your new ride. Goodbye, old car. Hello, Hyundai. 4 free payments promotion. Limited stock available. Offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
When the food speeds, dance. When the vibe nice.
The time by Grace. Taste that moves you is
6:45.
Welcome back to a lead story here on CVM TV, talking about the result of the U.S. election on Tuesday. I have with me CQ Clark, U.S. immigration attorney, economist Mark Ricketts, and Dr. Karen Dunkley, former Global Diaspora Council representative in the Northeast United States. CQ, the Latinos didn't vote for Kamala in the numbers expected. White women didn't vote for her in the number expected. And of course, white men didn't vote for her in the number expected. Not that those things were surprises. But is it that pocketbook issues convinced those voters to give their support to Trump? Was it just as simple as that?
I think granularly, it can be said as simple as that. The number one issue on a lot of voters' minds and their rhetoric was the economy. Based on where inflation is at the moment, that is what Trump led with. And unfortunately, Harris, she didn't have enough time to really get into the economy, and she decided to go with women reproductive rights, which did not really connect with the base as how she hoped or as how she predicted. So the economy was definitely a major part of it. Most of my colleagues, from immigrants to non-immigrants to white to black, all of them from blue states to red states said that they were going to vote for Trump simply because of economy and what he's shown to have done in the past and the potential change that he can bring from an economic standpoint.
Yeah, Mark, the post-mortem is suggesting that people always knew that on the economy, Ms. Harris would fall short. But that's not what we heard in the campaign. The campaign we heard was a brilliant campaign. They spent over $1 billion. We heard that she had enough time, that no was the time for a woman to crack the glass ceiling, not crack it, to break through. But she fell well short of many people's expectations. In fact, the polls show that it would have been a tight race. It wasn't a tight race. She was beaten soundly by Donald Trump. Through your eyes, where did it go wrong for Kamala?
In a number of instances, there are problems. For one, California has never really, except for Reagan, thrown up a president potentially successful at the ballot box. Primarily because California has been basically what they call progressive, left of center. And so most times, if you look, whether it was Jerry Brown, whether it was whoever it was that represented California, it was hard winning if you're from California. So that's one. The second thing is that what surprised me is that if you look at the economic performance of the Biden-Harris team, if you look at labor participation rate, economic growth, the stock market, almost any indicator that one would utilize to see whether the pair have to have been successful over the last 4 years. They outperformed Trump. The unemployment numbers, everything about the economy have to be stronger. And primarily, and some of it is because of, there was a pandemic at the end of Trump's presidency. But basically, and so I thought Kamala would have gone up there and said, let me tell you something. The stock market is the highest it has ever been in U.S. history. If you look at the wage growth or the wage rates, people have been earning more, almost matching what the inflation numbers have to be. If you look at, as I say, any aspect of economic policy and match it with Trump's performance, Kamala and Biden have to be way out front.
Yes.
So why didn't she talk? And why didn't she tell individuals about the actual performance and give them numbers?
Yes.
And because Trump was pushing the economy.
Yes.
If she has a much stronger economy to defend, why is she saying it?
Yes.
Part of the problem is that the thinking is if she indicates the performance of the economy at that level, and particularly driven by private sector initiatives, then it's somehow she won't be able to talk about being able to transfer wealth, being able to give to individuals, being able to support housing initiatives, but when she's doing that, she's doing it at the wrong time because the deficit is so high. So as a result, she should have just spent a lot of time indicating what the strength of the Biden administration has to be. Instead, she decided that she's going to go a lot for women's. But the one thing I wanted to mention, Abraham Lincoln always says, and irrespective of the country, public sentiment is everything. So that what the public or the electorate have to be demanding, you got to respond to that.
Absolutely. And Dr. Dunkley, I had a conversation elsewhere this morning with David Mullings, who said, look, we're in the age where facts don't matter. It's about how you make people feel about themselves. And perhaps, looking back at it now, the Democrats didn't help Ms. Harris to do a good enough job to talk to people about how they are feeling now and how much better she can cause them to feel if she got a mandate of her own.
Absolutely. And I think that Mark said something which is really interesting. We have to pay attention to this messaging around the economy, that while we can laud the macro economy, that people were looking in their everyday lives. And Sekou mentioned just vote in your pocketbooks, because at the end of the day, as an independent in Philadelphia, I kept getting one postcard. Trump's would ask in his mail-ins, very simple, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? And that was the only question on hundreds of pieces of mail that came to my house. Not a policy conversation, not about reducing the cost of groceries or interest rate, just simply, are you better off? And 46% of Americans on this question stated that they were not.
Absolutely. And so, Sekou Clark, as an immigration attorney, the number one fear now among Kamala supporters is that Trump will do what he said and he'll start mass deportations. It's your area of involvement. Do you see that in the near future? Is it all going to come tumbling down on anybody in the United States illegally know that Mr. Trump has the keys for the White House once again?
So in terms of mass deportation, I'm not sure if that was campaign talk or it's something that will be executed. But as you know, with Mr. Trump, when it comes down to immigration, you cannot take him lightly. So I definitely see that there, or foresee that there will be some mandates for expedited removals. I definitely see a lot of the Biden immigration policies that they will be repealed and will be reversed. And then I also, well, it's an unpopular opinion where Trump and immigration is concerned. I actually do see a brighter future from an immigration standpoint when it comes on to specialized and immigrants with advanced degrees or who are in tech industry or in the healthcare realm. But when it comes on to the everyday immigrant that does not fit into that specialized immigrant box, I definitely see some challenges. I definitely see some hurdles. I remember while practicing in 2016, there were more denials. There was more scrutiny when it came on to the officers doing checks coming into the country and files sent out. So I definitely foresee big changes. I definitely see there will be more litigation in the immigration courts. So lots of changes to come.
Yeah. Mark, many people say that these are the end of days. Oh, he's coming and he's going to destroy America. He's going to put Joe Rogan and Elon Musk in important positions and Dana White, and he's going to mash up the country. Do you share that view that Trump is going to mash down America?
Well, from the standpoint of the economy, that's to me is not the emphasis. Mm-hmm. It's in the political and cultural arena mm-hmm. that you're going to look at and see what happens. Mm-hmm. Because when autocrats do take over, mm-hmm. I mean,
And you're calling him an autocrat?
Yes, definitely. Mm-hmm. And what he has, remember he has a combination of the Supreme Court, mm-hmm. he has the Senate, mm-hmm. and which means that he can appoint as many lawyers.
There are no backstops.
There are no backstops. Mm-hmm. And so when you look at the strength and the enormous power that he has mm-hmm. to be able to exercise as much as much individual and personal approach mm-hmm. to government and to politics. I mean, it's he has no guardrails.
Yes.
And so from that standpoint, anybody in his position is almost going to be an autocrat.
Yes.
And then when you look at the linkage now between him, Netanyahu, Putin, etc.
Yes.
I mean, there's a whole new dynamic that's going to emerge.
Yes. And Kim in North Korea.
And we have no idea just how far this is going to go as far as just, not just U.S. politics, but the global arena.
Yeah. Lastly, Dr. Dunkley, in a few seconds, the Department of Justice sources say that they will abandon a prosecution of 2 matters against Trump, the attempt to subvert the election results and, of course, taking home classified documents. Is this an early sign of the fact that he in charge now is scaring off attempts to hold him to account for things he did in his previous stint as president and after he left the White House previously?
America has a history, and the Department of Justice, they do have a history of not prosecuting or going after presidents that are sitting, that are in office. Mm-hmm. I know that former President Trump, he knew this quite well, and many have stated that just knowing this fact even made him more passionate, more resolute in winning this time around, because the stakes for him were both personal and professional. So this is not unique to Donald Trump. It is unique to a Department of Justice practice that simply states a sitting president in the United States of America will be immune or becomes immune from any kind of prosecution.
Hear you on that. To the victor, the spoils. And now Trump has a chance to set his own agenda to, as he says, take revenge against those who wronged him. And it's going to be an interesting time for the good old USA. Dr. Karen Dunkley, thank you very much. Siku Clark, always appreciate your time, my friend. All the best to you. And Mark, thank you for coming in as well. All right, all the best. So I just have to say that, look, we can't love democracy one way and hate it another way. We can't champion democracy when we talk about Kamala Harris's elevation to the post of president in waiting. Well, not necessarily president in waiting, but a candidate for president, and talk about democracy delivering her to that position. And at the same time, the same democracy gives us Donald Trump, and we say, oh, the result is bad. People didn't know what they voted for. Rubbish. Donald Trump is in charge of those United States because the people in the USA believe he is the better person to lead them now. The sooner we digest that, is the better off we'll feel in the morning. And I'm saying we can't change the channel on the USA. We can't go elsewhere. We have to keep watching. And this movie, this playing out in front of us will run its course.